Hey, welcome back to Ways Learning, and what are we doing today?
We're building a swarming box for the bees.
Yeah, we're building a swarm box. So March through kind of May is when you put out your swarm boxes. So you're hoping to catch bees that are swarming because they either don't like where they're living or they're overpopulated. So what are we gonna use to build our swarm box today?
We're gonna build the bulk of it out of this 3/8 plywood. We're gonna build the sides 20 3/4. Make sure this fits in. Leave a little room for the bees.
Put a little hole?
Put a little hole.
All right, we'll show you. Pitter patter, let's get at her.
All right, so Craig started out by ripping the sides on the table saw. You wouldn't need one. You could just use a regular skill saw or circular saw to cut these. Like I said, they're not very wide, but it was just faster. So Craig's got all the tools, so we just ripped them on the table saw, all the sides. And when I say we, I mean Craig. It was 18 inches tall is what we used. We wanted to have enough space to slide the frame in, and then you want a little space at the bottom, 6 to 7 inches, where the bees can kind of cluster to make it not feel so tight and invasive. So we made them 18 inches tall, and then they were 18 inches wide on the sides, or the shorter ends. And then the longer sides were 20 3/4, and that would accommodate the frame to set in there with a little bit of wiggle room, and then enough to put the cleats on the side to actually hold the frames. Once we were done cutting the sides and the fronts, I guess you'd say, then we simply just glued them together, and then Craig used staples with a pneumatic staple gun just to make it faster. You could use just a little pinning nail gun, or you could hand nail them as well. You can do this by yourself. It just goes faster if you got 2 people, and it's more fun. Craig pretty much did this by himself. I was just there to film and kind of hold it when needed, but the nail gun or the pneumatic stapler makes it go so much faster.
Are you ready? Next one.
Okay.
And 20 and a 16.
What's that, 8?
8 inches.
So the box is put together, and now what we're doing is we're putting the bottom in. And Craig had a great little idea where you want to make sure that the bottom actually sets up in there so that you get a drip so it doesn't rot as easily with the water coming down the sides. It tends to run. So he actually put a little insert to make sure that the depth was correct, and then just use that to nail the bottom in, so it's got a little bit of a cavity at the bottom of it. And there's the box completely done.
Okay, we're gonna make the tops for these boxes. We're gonna give us a little wiggle room so it's not tight. We know this plywood's gonna move and expand and contract a little bit. So we're gonna give us a 1/4 inch to play this way. Our box is gonna have 3/4 inch sides that slip over the side of the box. So we're gonna add 1.5 inches to that. So that gives us 10.5 inches in width. We're gonna do the same for the length, and that's gonna make them 22 1/4.
22 1/4?
22 1/4.
There's 2 lids.
All right, now the test fit.
See how it goes.
Looky there, a little bit of play. Close enough the bees can't go under.
Nice. Well, we get that paint in there and leave me a little snugger.
Indeed.
A little glue, putting on the top.
Exterior glue. Waterproof.
What's that called? Blue?
It's called waterproof glue.
Is that, what's the brand though? What's the brand?
Titebond 3.
Titebond 3, that's right.
Best glue in the business.
That's right. Check out the link in the description below.
You lucky?
Likey. This guy. Down at the end.
Still lucky?
Yep. Perfect. 2 swarm boxes, almost done. Yep, so we got the spacer in to keep the depth.
Gonna put this little cleat right here. The spacer's just to space them evenly, and this little baby right here is gonna sit right in there.
All right.
Here Craig's assembling the handle that's going to hold the swarm box to the tree, and he's putting a gap there so it'll push the handle actually out away from the swarm box to give enough room for the lid to slide on easily. If you don't leave that gap, then you're not going to be able to put your lid on, or you're going to have to build a workaround or a bump around on your lid for the handle. So if you make a spacer in there, the lid still slides on. You don't have to do that. And that's what he's doing here. He's just gluing it, and he's going to nail it. Then he drilled a hole in the top so that you can put a string or rebar on it, however you're going to attach it to a tree. And then simply he screwed it into the back using it countersinked so that the nail would be, or the screw would be flush. And into that, we drilled it into the back bottom part of the swarm box. And then we came back and drilled it on the inside, screwed it into the exterior side of it, so it's kind of getting pinched both ways to stay in place. And that's it. Really just pretty simple process. You can do it a whole bunch of different ways, but we thought that was the best way, or Craig thought that was the best way to do it, to secure it. Next we made the entrance for the swarm box, and I just got these little entrance gates off Amazon. I'll put the link in below. But they're pretty handy. Craig used a Forster bit to make the entrance about the size of the hole that's on the entrance gate. But the entrance gates are just nice because they allow you to, when you're retrieving the swarm box out of the tree, to kind of keep the bees in there so you won't get stung. Then you just took a screw and screwed the entrance gate on there. We made it tight enough so it would still turn, but that once turned it would stay in place. That way when you're getting the swarm box down, you don't have to worry about that thing spinning.
I think just a little bit of friction. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's got this thing to push it, so you could probably put quite a bit on there.
A little tighter?
There you go, perfect.
Nice. All right, so this little bracket on the back here is to hang the box in the tree. Rope, nail, whatever. Lid comes off. Comes out, sits on a little cleat.
Little extra space.
Little extra space. And the bees, they come, they go, they breathe. Queen doesn't escape. Welcome home, little bees. Thanks for watching. This is Craig. I'm with Tim. See you next time.